Smokes, we're back. It's been a while, fellas. Welcome, everyone. Lions Guide Collective. I'm here with the team again. We've not been on vacation. I promise you that. We've been heads down, working hard, putting together a lot of ton stuff that we want to talk about today. But for those of you that are new, what is Lions Guide? Well, we are all here because on our little journeys, we all agree that we found brothers from other mothers, and that we think leadership, what is leadership? The ability to lead yourself and lead others is at the core of success in business, in life, everything. And so we're here to talk about how we empower everyday people like you to be world-class leaders so that you can lead yourself and others more confidently. So you can find more about things that we're doing in addition to what we're going to talk about today on lionsguide.com. So you can go check that out. We got the downloads for you. You can read more about what we're doing and get in contact with us. But enough of that. Let's talk about the team here. I've got myself. I'm Dale Walls. I'm the founder of Lions Guide, but I'm proud to say I've got newly appointed co-founders because they've been in the trenches with me long enough to be considered as such. I got Mr. Jay Tiggs, who's our high performance development director, helping you lead yourself better. And we've got Keith Flip Griffin, who is our leadership development director, carrying those traits and skills and values over into how you lead your team. And your team's not just at work, right? You lead your family, you lead your community. Again, it's all important. Everything to do with leadership matters. So, gents.
Hey, good morning.
Hey,
how's it going? Jay, what's been good, my friend?
Oh, life is like you said. I due for a vacation, but we've been grinding in the trenches behind the scenes, and things are going well. Do you want to talk about what's coming up next week?
Sure. Well, really, what's good? What anything exciting going on that
for me personally, well, I officially this retirement. So I feel like I've been talking about this for months now. Like people are like, "Have you retired yet?" I'm officially out on Tuesday. So just ramping up and getting this chapter closed in my life to get on to the next thing. So I'm super excited about that, and gearing up for another trip down to New Zealand. I'm incredibly honored to have Lions Guide as a part with that partnership with the University of Applied Research and Development and taking veterans down to New Zealand. So trip number 2 is coming up, and working behind the scenes on a lot of programs, courses, and things like that we got coming down the pike. So I'm super excited about this coming year and everything that we have coming up for Lions Guide.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll dive a little bit into that today. Some of the offerings and integrations we've got going up. I know we've not formally announced some of the stuff, but we'll give some preview to things to look forward to. Those of you guys who've been following us, I think we've got enough to start sharing what to look forward to in some areas around that. So, but before we jump into that, Flip, what's good with you? What's been good?
Yeah, I'm excited too about at least the Down Under Kiwi thing because I get to go and do that. So I'll start that Masters with Jay and the veterans that we do it with. So I'm excited about that and recruiting more for that so I can finish up mine. And got some good personal challenges happening with the fam, which is always a good thing. But we're super excited because we've booked our April B2B with a great group of fire department out of Maryland. We're super excited to get everyday leadership off the ground, and we got some cool things for everyday leadership coming up in the summer as well. So we're super excited to put those together, put the excursion together, which is going to be really fun to go out and do with some llamas out there in Utah and all that kind of stuff. So I'm super excited about that stuff.
It's awesome, and I think, look, man, we're going to get into today a bit of what we've been working on. You see it on the wall, always has been, the power of establishing clarity. So, a little bit update on us is we took a time out. We did a 2-day offsite to really sit down in person, literally locked ourselves in Flip's dungeon of a basement and didn't let out. He had 2 guard dogs at the stair and everything.
It's cold down there.
That's right.
And he wouldn't even turn on the heat. He's like, you
That's
produce your own heat with the magic.
That's what we do.
But we sat
Lions,
down.
not llamas.
Yeah, we sat down and just got hyper focused on what are we doing here? What's our roadmap? How are we going to help everyday people be world-class leaders? And I'm excited to kind of kick that off today, diving into, getting feedback from you guys on our mission and our core values. And literally, folks, and this is good for your, again, back to establish clarity. You got to make this time to sit down and establish clarity. Even these challenges that you're up against, you got to take time out, sit down, block off some time. For me personally, I get out that notepad and I start scribbling, just start brain dumping, start organizing. And we did that for Lions Guide and kind of really, who we are, who we're serving, what we're trying to do here and how. So I'm excited. So real quick, before we jump into that, I want to say this week we got sessions coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, respectively. We've got Jay hosting a session on improving your influence. So our Tuesday sessions are about leading yourself better. And one of the ways that we need to lead ourselves better is understand the power of our influence, like how we're leading ourselves influence others. So we're going to be working on that with you on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, talking to, similar topic in a way is empowerment. So on our Wednesday leadership development session, we're going to talk about how you empower your team. You can't do it all. So we're going to teach you how to lead yourself well, but that doesn't mean you do it all yourself. So how do you empower and enable others? So Flip will be leading the topic on that on Wednesday, again, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 Central. So let's jump into our mission and core values. So our mission, as we determined it, was just that. We wanted to empower everyday people to be world-class leaders. So, Jay, what's that mean to you? Why does that resonate with you? And
those are some very powerful words, right? Empower, because we initially talked about inspire. We want to inspire people, but you brought up a great point. There's a big difference between inspiring and empowering, right? We want other people to not only be inspired, but to be able to have the tools, tactics, and the confidence and ability to execute. And I think that's where the empowerment bit comes. And when I think about some of the, world-class leaders that have influenced me or that I've worked with, they have empowered me in some way. And that's exactly what we want to do. We don't want to just inspire you. We want to give you the tools and tactics to be successful. And so I think that's a key word in that mission phrase.
Yeah, 100%. Flip.
Yeah, I agree with Jay about the empowerment for us to be able to do. And I look at inspiration as a little bit different kind of from that. And your ability to empower people will help you to inspire them, right? And to be their versions and their best versions of themselves, right? So if we're trying to do it from a self-development and help you become the best version of yourself, great. We're giving you the tools to empower you to do that. So I look at them as a mechanical. To me, empowerment is a mechanical piece that gives you tools to be able to do something. And the inspirational piece is kind of the head in the clouds. Where are you going, right? And to be able to do that is really transcending in my eyes. So we had this big discussion, right, about separating the two, and we got into some great debates in the basement, in the cold dungeon, as we say. But it was a good, and I think we came up with that empowerment piece is really about, giving you the tools and helping you, enable you to kind of, reach your goals and beyond what you want to do. So it's two different separate things, but both in my eyes, and I think in everybody's, important.
Yeah, I agree. And it's about, we were like, what are we about? Well, we want to get in the game and make better leaders. We don't want to look, do we do speaking engagements and tell our stories and do all that? Yes. However, it's more than that. And we've heard this a million different ways. Like, no one's going to save you but you, right? So we don't want to talk at you. We want to empower you, not only with knowledge, right? Like we can talk philosophically all day, and we do at times, to kind of frame up the rest of the conversation strategically. But that's like our mastery groups, the Forge, the worksheets, the courses and training, like that's beyond public speaking. That's beyond that. That's into giving you like our experience and our learnings along the way, right? We're everyday leaders now, right? And we're talking about like the book reviews and book clubs that we're doing and all that stuff, and the challenges. All that stuff is to empower you, not just like scream at you and have viral hits online and we need the world to be better leaders, period. And so we want to help enable everyday people. So, back at you, Flip. So everyday people is another kind of key here, and it's not just slapped in there. What is the everyday people piece here?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had everyday leadership is something that I created, and what it did was and I think we all agreed on it. I was humbled that it became part of the mantra. But look, you lead, and you alluded to it in the beginning. You lead at every point of your life when you're right. You lead yourself just by getting up in the morning. You lead then, like kids, right? When you have to, you lead with your spouse in some way, shape, or form. And regardless, if you don't have any of those things, you still have yourself to be able to fall back. So I think for us, we really took it as look, we had 20 years in J. We all know this as being a former soldier, well, almost former soldier till tomorrow, former Marine and former Navy guy. There's a lot of people coming out with leadership things. There's been 20 years of war, and there's a ton of great material out there that people are doing. And we really, for ourselves, and maybe we're getting into the niche, every day for us was look, we're very average people that, like everybody else, is out there, and we're trying to be relatable, and we're trying to be relevant in what we're doing. And that sometimes isn't, we feel anyways, as a group, as a collective, we just feel sometimes that's not, it's hard to grasp on those. And so sometimes people don't see, when they read some heroic story about something happening, that's not sometimes that's not relatable to people, right? Especially when you're working at the night shift at Home Depot. Like, that's not me. This is me. They don't understand me. And so we're trying to, I think what we're trying to do, and what we know is really more relevant, is just being like, look, every single day you have to lead at some point in juncture in your day, right? And so this is us. This is what we're trying to give you, and it's take what you need and what works for you, right? That's also one of our mantras, right? It's not shoving everything down your throat and every single minute has to be doing so. That's not it for us. So it's an everyday thing, and we realize what people do every day.
Yeah, definitely.
A big component of our services here is offering mastermind groups, and I have been in quite a few. And there was always something missing for me. A lot of the groups that I've been in were all about Lamborghinis and private jets, with someone that was so unrelatable to me where I'm currently at. And they just had a different sense of value, because the Lamborghini and the private jet, those are great, whatever, but that doesn't inspire me. But there's a lot of that. We call that entrepreneurial porn. There's a lot of that out there that does, but it didn't quite resonate with, and we've talked about it, didn't really quite resonate with us. In addition to, there's a lot of people out there elite, like there's Navy SEALs out there and all sorts of these just people that are, it's not that it's not inspiring. It's just not as relevant, and they're not, it's more like a pump session versus giving you actual tools that you can action. And I think that's what separates us, is that we're giving you tools that you can actually use in your everyday life, that's actually going to benefit you and help you. And I think that's what's going to set us apart from others that are out there in the space.
Yeah. And I think and where did that come from? That's like the number one thing we get back from our clients and people that come to our sessions or whatever. They're like, wow, okay, I feel like I'm amongst peers, right? It was the other day, we just heard that as one of the wrap-up calls, just yet again. And this is almost a weekly occurrence now, where people are just like, man, I really like how we're just here. I feel like I'm amongst, people that get it. And it's not so grandiose like that. I just feel like I'm so far behind, right, that I can't even jump that far, and that's just it. We're here to go, like, look, if your productivity is, how would you rate yourself in your productivity right now compared to what you want to be? Oh man, I'm a 6. How can we make it a 7? Let's start there, right? I'm not here to yell at you and say, well, just do it. We're not Nike either. There's no just do it attitude. Like, we'll just become a 10, look, man, we're going to take steps and go, okay, hey man, well, if you're a 6 right now, what would make it a 7? Let's go there. And then if we're a 7 by this time next week, great. Let's work on that 8. That's how we get there, right? We don't just snap our fingers and, run a marathon tomorrow, or snap our fingers and have financial abundance, right? It just, and that's why, we recognize that that's what it's going to take, is just building. How much did we talk about consistency on yesterday's leadership call, Jay? Right? Like just the ability to be consistent and just get into the game with regard to what are you trying to solve for, and how do you go from that 5 to a 6 or 6 to a 7, or if you are an 8, acknowledging, well, why are you an 8, and then what will make it a 9? Because in your growth, and you just these just rip the Band-Aid off changes. A lot of time what happens is you rip the Band-Aid off and you fall out of sync with what was actually working for you sometimes. So this stuff is incremental, and I think there's an aspect of the everyday people problems, right? Like that single mom who's trying to work 2 jobs and keep her kids fed, doesn't give a crap about your Lamborghini, but she does need to lead her way through where she wants to be for her family. And that's the everyday people that we want to serve. And I just love that. I think we all agreed, and that's why this came like this at its core, like the everyday piece, or everyday people piece, is who we're most passionate to serve, right? Like, it's just, we feel we can help anyone lead themselves and lead others better. And that's why that came in there. So
I think real quick, I want to add something. I think it's important that we say this, right? I think it's important to say that there are literally thousands of leadership books out there. And if you read one, if you watch somebody and you get something from it, that's important. Like, it's not that those aren't right. So the relevancy of it is that you could find inspiration for yourself and right anywhere you want. And that is the uniqueness of leadership development. That's the uniqueness of performance, is that you ultimately have to do it. I think the key for us that we really focus on for all of our viewers, all of our followers, all of our clients, is its relatability, right? Everything is relatability. I will never own a Lamborghini. I don't know if any of the guys are ever going to buy one. Like my Tacoma decked out, like that's my ultimate goal is to do. It's about relatability, and it's about being able to incrementally, like Dale mentioned, incrementally take techniques, relate them to your life, and help you relate them to your life, and then help you implement those, right? Empower you to implement those for yourself. And I think that's what distinguishes us. So I want to make sure we don't get negative, because that's not us. We're not about, you want to go read about a Navy SEAL doing something awesome. Because there's some good stuff out there. And I don't want to take away from those things, because you can find it anywhere. And we all have, right? We've all been inspired by some of those people out there. I think we just found for us, it's the everyday, and you're not supposed to use the word in the answer, right? But in the definition, but I think that's what it is for us, is that relatability factor that we're trying to solve.
How do you bring that stuff down to earth, right? Like, because I'm with you. I get fired up by all those, like,
absolutely.
Come listen to me working out in the morning, and you'll hear blasting like motivational speeches and excerpts from all those folks, just to kind of like, just, it's a mindset thing too, so there, and those things are applicable at different times and all that stuff. So and that's just it. There's so many, right? We're looking at that beach ball in so many different ways. So it's important. So with regard to, the final piece here, like world-class leaders, Flip, what does that mean?
That was, we had our aha moment when we came up with that, which was great, because we all got super excited. I think we all warmed up from the cold, without even turning the heat on. But I think, listen, world class is what you believe it is in your eyes, right? So for all of us, it's, if you take yourself up one level, if you take yourself up 10 levels, if you get to wherever you want to be, if where you're at is where you're at, and you want to maintain that, it still requires you to be better every single day, or at least to start moving in that direction, whatever that is. And we all agreed that's world class, right? World class is your world and the highest you can achieve within your world, right? This isn't about saying like world class athletes, and we don't want to get people's minds out there to think, right? Because there's too much social media, and there's too many things out there for you to wrap. This is really about you and being the best version of you that you want to be, you can be, and then exceeding what you believe you can be. And for us, that's what world class meant for everything, right? It didn't necessarily mean Lambos and yachts and everything else. It meant, being what world class is inside you. You have to find that. We'll help you do that. We'll help you on that journey. But this is about you and where you and how well you want to get to.
Yeah, what's important to you, not necessarily making you the next Bezos, right? Or whatever, but you have a world that you need to lead, Yeah, I love it. Jay.
Yeah, on the flip side of that, I like to say the flip side. When we were spitballing the mission statement, we were coming up with all sorts of things like make everyday leaders better and things like that. We said world class. That gave us all pause, because from a mission perspective, like for our organization, it makes me want to be better. Like, what does it mean to say, hey, we're going to take everyday people and empower them to be world class? What does that demand of us as a team? Because that means that we have to continue to rise up and grow. And it made the hair on the back of I don't have a lot of hair, to stand up a little bit, just thinking about, what that requires of not only us, but our community. It's a bold statement. And I think when you have bold statements and a bold vision, that's where you make an impact. And so that's what we're all about. So I'm excited about the prospect of that. I'm just so excited. That's part of our mission set because it's a bold statement. It's powerful, and we're going to make an impact.
Yeah, it's like, when we kind of, tongue in cheek summarize it, like we say, we're going to go save the world with leadership, right? And I think that's where this came in for me, is that, the world would be a better place if you were a better leader, if your partner was a better leader, if your kids were better leaders, if your coworkers were better leaders, if your neighbors were better leaders, right? Like the whole world would start getting better if everyone could lead themselves and lead others better, right? If we all started leading better, period, in the way that we're talking about, like Flip and I talked about months ago, like the force, like leadership's like the force. It surrounds us and it affects everything. And if you don't get that yet, freaking think about it. Think about our challenges, your challenges, and the impact leadership has, positive or negative, right? Leadership, Flip's got a great webinar and instruction on leadership, the good, the bad, the toxic. If you think about how leadership is playing its part in any situation, good leadership, great things. Bad leadership, not much traction, a little bit of mediocrity. Toxic leadership, people are jumping off the freaking ship, or going crazy or setting the world on fire. And that's it, and that's where this world-class thing comes in, is just recognizing the importance of it, and then the rest comes, right? Because leadership is not one thing. It's not 7 things. It's not 4 things. It is freaking everything. It's you. It's how you engage with people. It's how you show up. And by the way, it's your own formula. It's your own formula. We're all different, so there's not the one way. And I think that's really it, is that we're here to help you find your way. I'm not trying to tell you to come do it like me, do it like Flip, do it like Jay. We're here to talk and help you find your answers and challenge you to get better in your own leadership. What are your goals? Well, how are you going to get there? And the only way to get there is lead the way and be an everyday leader. And so Flip, I think when you hit that with the first conversations we had about your passion of everyday leadership, it just fit right in, because, it's just another way of saying just what we all believe, because, we're all everyday people, and the way we lead every day is going to matter. It's going to matter. And you can look, man, you can lead successfully 365 days out of a year. But if you take a day off and shift to like a toxic day, it's got long-standing consequences, right? Like, there's, so being on our game as much as possible and knowing, how important it is. It's here we are. That's what we're here to do. So,
I think it's important that we understand you're going to have bad days. Like, you're going to be, right? You're not going to wake up to your alarm every single morning. So don't just wake up, right? Like, that's like, or whatever it is. Like, and I think that's the relatability. I'm going to go back to our uniqueness and why I think that we're really unique is that it's you're going to have bad days. We're normal people like everybody else, right? We have medical issues just like everybody else. We've got kid issues that we all go through the same stuff. And I think the relatability also, and I think this place is something else that I think we talk about within is that it's camaraderie, right? So what we really love to do is we love to get everybody together that's being able, because we want that togetherness. We want you to understand that just because you're in a different industry than someone else, I promise you, and we can all tell you, everybody has the same problems leadership wise, right? Everybody, I don't care if you're a CEO or you're a brand new hire, everybody still doesn't sometimes want to get up in the morning. Everybody has time management problems when they have 3 kids going in 3 different directions. Like those are all real relatable problems that aren't solved by a warrior stamp someplace or whatever, right? I mean, I get it, but there are things like that sometimes you can kind of look at. And so those are, again, when Dale nailed it, and I think Jay nails it as well when he talks about it. If you start to do self-performance, high performance habits, and you make those part of your day, like the E3 challenge that Jay had put in, I think what you understand that our mission is set to try to help you implement those when you can, as you can, because you're just incrementally going to get better.
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to add on that, I think, is what was I going to say? We're transparent in our own struggles and challenges, because once again, I've been in a lot of trainings and groups where it's just like the trainer, like there's no chink in the armor, right? And I just and I know this because I behind the curtain, I know that that's not true. And I think that's one thing that I love about our team is that we're open about our personal challenges and struggles, kind of going back to the relatability bit, because I don't care who you are. We're all human. We all have our challenges, and any trainer or guru or anything that seems like everything is perfect, it's not so. It's not so. And so
it's funny, like all on the same sheet of music, because I wanted to mention that earlier, which is like, man, we are not immune. Like we've got our own, everyone has it, everyone's got that challenge. The next, if you don't have any problems, just give it a minute, just wait. Yeah,
give me your formula. Like, let me know what.
Yeah, right. But don't kid yourself, right? That next challenge is waiting for you right around the corner, right? This goes back to there is no finish line, conversation, right? Like, trust me, when you think you've got it all figured out, there's something waiting for you around the corner, and you're going to have to, be ready and be able to take that face head on. And that's just it. Like, how do I say this? I want to say, like, yeah, sure, we don't have it all figured out either. We have just learned a lot, and we want to share our experiences with others. And that's that camaraderie piece and get feedback from others. But yeah, man, like, we've got our own challenges that we're dealing with right now. We're all perfectly human. We're all everyday people too. I'm not immune to, mistakes and, I couldn't even get started. It'd be a whole other show. I get on to all my problems, but that's just it, and it's just, how do we get through that? And what I love about you guys and the community, I would say equally for myself, right? Like, they are great opportunities to check in and listen and go, yep, reminder, like, you're not the only one struggling out there. And how do we help each other, level up and kind of be those backstops. So yeah, man. So anything else you guys want to add before we start cutting out of here?
I got a final thought. John Maxwell once said, when sailing a boat, you can appreciate this, Flip, being the sailor that you are. When sailing a boat, a pessimist complains about the wind. The optimist expects the change. The leader adjusts the sails.
Love it.
That's all I got.
Yeah, man. Spot on. Good way to wrap it up. So next week, we're going to jump into our core values. So we put together 6 powerful core values. So today, good conversation, kind of jumping in our mission, empowering everyday people to be world-class leaders. Next week, we'll get into our core values a little bit and why those things are important. Hell, man, I think we could do the next 6 weeks, one at a time, as we can dive into these topics as well. Maybe we will. But anyways, hey, if you like what we've got going on, if you got a value out of this conversation, or you feel that we could help you get better, or you want to get better, you want to start leading better in your own life or team, let us know. Hop online. We've got some downloads for you on the website. Submit your contact us. We got guest passes to the Forge and other things that we have going on. And I guess I'll wrap this up a little bit. So there's a little preview to some things that we've got coming for you. So with Jay coming on board, Jay has organized a lifestyle community called the Forge, and the Forge is coming together with Lions Guide to be just that, our big collective group of that lifestyle of leadership. So that's going to be our weekly general membership calls. So we're talking about growth topics every single week. Those are Tuesday evenings. Sunday evenings, we've got an ongoing book club where we're going through, just that. Leaders are readers. You got every day. Being an everyday leader means everyday growth. And find a library, man, because you got to keep feeding that mind with the right information. So the Forge is really to help give you a structure to work within, to have that growth mindset lifestyle as a leader. And there's that. And then we've got our mastery groups. So we talked about those earlier, but they are that. If you want to really dig in and be challenged in your growth and start mastering these areas of leading yourself and leading others better, that's what our mastery groups are for. We run them every Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon. That's small group format. In that forum, you've got the floor, and we're kind of, working through these topics and challenging you. How can you get better? And it's very Socratic and very much, a challenge session, where you're in there with other people and you're there to master yourself and master how you lead. So there's that. And then up and coming this year, we've got the Elevate Excursions. So this is going to be a leadership adventure where one of the ways to learn is kind of break your norm, and get away and get out of your normal scene that your neuro pathways are really dug into. And when you break out of like your existing environment, and you go someplace new, right? Your neurology, the word escapes me, but basically you're ready to learn and you're ready to kind of soak new information in and build new neurocircuitry and so on. Really start to adapt and change and grow. We're going to have elevation excursions where we go out, do an adventure, but intermingled with that is we're going to dive into these topics and how you be a better leader and leading yourself and leading others. So look for that. And we're going to do our first one this year in the summer time frame. So we'll release some more specific details on that once we nail them all down. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Good way to kind of break that mold and break out and really dive into something. And then if you're a veteran, and I know we've got a lot of clients and people in the community that are in the first responder community and things like that. And if you're a veteran and interested in earning your bachelor's degree or master's degree, and also take one of our excursions down to New Zealand as a part of that, we are partnered with UARD, University of Applied Research and Development in New Zealand in Auckland. And that's a program to earn your bachelor's degree in emergency management and risk response. I'm screwing it up, Jay. What is it?
Emergency response and risk management.
Yeah, emergency response and risk management. So you can earn your degree, bachelor's degree or master's degree in that area if that's relevant to you. It's a VA accredited organization, and we're partnered with them to help serve veterans in that capacity. And Jay goes down, and part of that is a 10-day excursion out in New Zealand. That's a part of the academic curriculum, in addition to the rest of the academic curriculum. But, it's a great opportunity if you're looking to earn your degree there and level up all at the same time.
So I just like to highlight real quick that
highlight
it's super, super awesome that our curriculum that we teach you is recognized by a university in addition to our excursions, right? So just want to highlight that's really unique about what we offer. And, it's really an honor to have a university say, hey, we love what you're doing and we want that with our curriculum.
Yeah. And it's awesome. And then we've got our workshop. So if you do have a organization or business that you want us to come in and help work with your team and level up their leadership, we've got 2-day workshops and beyond that we come out and do our everyday leadership series, like, foundations of leadership, all kinds of like opportunities kind of in again, if you're a business owner or organizational leader, right, and you need help leveling your team up as well, we can come and subsidize that and help your team grow in a whole lot of different ways. So that's what we've been working on. It's a freaking full plate and we're loving it. It's doing what we love and it's a ton of fun, really. I mean, I enjoy this. I get fired up. I'm fired up now just freaking talking about it too. So that's it. So appreciate you guys. Chime in. Love to hear your feedback. Otherwise, go to lionsguy.com. Check out the links, the Next Mission Project, Veterans. It's linked down at the bottom. Go check it out. Sign up, watch the webinar replay if you want to get more information on that. Pass the word, gents. Love you guys. Glad you're here. And we will see everyone next week. Take care. Be good.
Sounds good. See you.